Welcome back to Safe Settings Podcast. I am your host, Adedamola Flourish Balami, and I am glad that you're here. In this episode, we're looking at family connection, strengthening parent-child communication. And the title for this episode is Building Stronger Parent-Child Connection. Our focus will be on the power of presence, listening, and curiosity, repair after conflict or misattunement, and how to create safe emotional spaces at home. By the end of this discussion, we would have been able to understand how to listen without fixing, how to apologize and repair effectively, and how to invite connection instead of demanding it. Like I said, we are talking about family connection and communication. Connection is the foundation of cooperation, and children listen better when they feel heard. Repairs also matters more than perfection, which means we will always have reasons to misunderstand each other. We will always have reasons to rub off on each other wrongly. And it is important to know that as we repair with adults, there is a need to repair with children. Don't say, I'm your father, you expect me to tell you sorry. Father, if you're wrong, especially when parents are having issues, let's say father and mother are having it rough in their relationship. They hardly think that there is a need to apologize to the children, especially when they feel like making up, or they think they are resolving their situation and they've made up and they want to continue to live, peaceably. They hardly think that the children have been hurt. Sometimes they don't even know that the child in the family has gone through some emotional turmoil. So if we ask, how do we repair after conflict? Using that instance as an example, we will repair after that kind of conflict but with the children by acknowledging their hurt, taking responsibility for our part in that situation and reconnecting, with care. It is important. That's why we said that you cannot just say, I'm the parent, I don't owe anybody an apology. Whatever happens between parents is parent issues. Children should stay out of it. Children are part of that family. And whatever happens between the parents, they are the first recipient of it. So how do we reconnect with care after conflict or after distance or after hurting the child? Sometimes parents are having their own rough time and they take it all out on the child. Transfer of aggression. You have transferred your aggression on that child. You saw how you made the child feel. How do you reconnect with care after doing that? We must first understand that reconnection is not about fixing everything. Reconnection is about restoring safety, closeness, and trust. So, if we're going to restore safety, progress, and trust, we're going to have to be gentle about it. It will no longer be a positional thing. It will no longer be because you are the parent. So the first thing you need to do is to regulate yourself. It's not nice to make moves of repairing communication or relationship with a child when you are still emotionally flooded, because you are going to be doing a lot of things that the child will be seeing through you and be like, what are you trying to do? Do you want to talk or do you want to blame? Or you just want me on your side? So take a breath, soften your body, slow your voice, and let the child know that you are willing for connection. Because you can't offer calm from a place of agitation. When you are still emotionally flooded, chances are you will even be talking out of your emotion and it will look as if the fight is still going on. The next thing you do after recalibrating yourself and regulating yourself is to approach gently. Like we said, a soft tone. Even the Bible says a soft answer turns away wrath. But when you are coming with your position and authority and your sense of right and everything, you just make the situation worse. So a soft tone, open body language, and non-threatening words. It could go like, can we talk for a minute? I want to reconnect. I value us. I value you. I appreciate our relationship or the way we have been. I like the way you were free with me and I want it to continue. I care about you and us. Things like that. This would tell the person that you're safe with me. You're basically saying, I'm creating this safe environment for us to interact, for us to talk. I want us to come back to that positive connection. Let's remove the tension within the environment. And the third thing is to acknowledge what happened. Not to blame, but to name. That is very critical. Not talking about what happened, just saying, okay, you know what, let's forget about everything. Let the past be past. Pardon me. Let the past be past. No, let bygones be bygones. We don't want to talk about anything in the past. We just want to move on. It's okay to move on. And nobody is saying dwell on the past and drown in it. But it is important to say that I acknowledge what happened. And what happened is not necessarily the story. It is how you treated or responded to that person that got them angry. Something like, I see that our conversation became heated. Maybe conversation between the mother and the father became heated. Or conversation between the parent and the child became heated. And that affected the child. Or I think that hurt. Sometimes parents are so quick to respond to something they consider embarrassing for the family that they might not even give the child to explain, or the opportunity to explain their position. And then in the course of the, heated argument or reign of abuses or whatever it is, they realize that they've been wrong because the child has been completely right. So what do they do in such a situation? I think that hurt you, the way I didn't listen to you. Or I realized I raised my voice. I should have been calm. When you name what the situation was, it reduces tension. And it helps create that safety, because silence increases tension. Not naming it increases tension. The child might not know where you'll be coming from next time. All right? The fourth thing you do is to take responsibility for your part in the disconnection. Take responsibility for how you have contributed to the misattunement in the family or in your relationship with the child. And this is very powerful and disarming. I'm sorry I spoke sharply. I'm sorry I didn't give you a chance to explain yourself. I apologize. I shouldn't have dismissed you. Or I regret that I regret how that came across. Or I regret that came across wrongly. However you want to put it. So you don't have to always just it's not about taking responsibility for everything, or that, I've been a bad father, I know. No, that's not it. Be specific, because you are not totally bad. If you were totally bad, the child will not be willing to reconnect at all. Just be specific and own your part in the situation. The next thing is to express care explicitly. You want to create safety, you want reconnection. You have to make it clear how much you care. Don't assume that they know you care. Don't say, well, I love you now, so there's no need. In this conversation, there is no need going over how much I love you. No, say it. Go over how much you love them. Let them know, I care about you. You're my child, and I love you deeply. I think no one can love you as much as I love you. Our relationship matters to me. My relationship to you as my child matters to me. Or you could say, I don't want us to feel distant. I like her cordiality and I want you to continue. Care spoken like that heals faster than care implied. I'll say that again. Care spoken heals faster than care implied. Somebody will say, because we're adults, we don't usually tell children sorry. So if you do something that you know has made the child feel very awful, just go buy them a gift. What are you training the child to tolerate? Abuse, so that when they are hurt by someone they claim to love or that claims to love them, the person buys them a gift and it should be okay. We are human beings. It is important for parents, adults, to know that that child you are looking at has a complete organ. There's nothing missing. It's just they're still growing. Okay, we said that their prefrontal cortex has not fully grown until a certain age, but it doesn't mean that they don't reason. So it is important to understand that care spoken heals faster than care implied. So don't just imply your love, don't imply your intention, don't imply how you feel about them. Let them know that you care. Don't assume that they know. Let them know that your relationship with them and their relationship with you matters to you. Then invite, don't force. Come and sit next to me. Yeah, sit next to me. Sit on my lap. Come, sorry. Let me put my hands on all those things. Give me a hug. And you're forcing the whole thing. Invite the child. Of course, you could do that and it works. It depends on the personality of the person. But in the real sense of it, invite the person. How did that feel for you? Ask them. How did you handle it? So what do you need right now? Do you need a hug? Half the time, if they are teenagers, they'll say they just want their space. So it will look like you've done nothing. But if you've been sincere and explicit, you've actually done it. And you see them walking themselves back to you. You could ask, is there anything you want me to understand? So that they feel properly understood. And this opens the space for their own experience. That is when they'll actually tell you things you didn't think happened when you had that conflict. And finally, end with connection, not conclusion. How do you end with connection? Remember that reconnection with someone that is misattuned with you is not logical, it is emotional. So you want to consider a hug, a warm look, a gentle thank you for talking to me or talking with me. You could tell your child, thanks for having that conversation with me. That will seal it better than just conclude. So we're fine now, right? We're fine now. This should never happen again and things like that. So to reconnect with care is to return with softness, honesty, responsibility, and a desire to restore closeness. Reconnecting with care is not to win, is not to be right, is not to let the child see you in the best light against your partner. Is not to convince the child that you could be wrong, but you are still the father. They know that what they want is to feel safe around you, to know that conflicts will happen, but when they happen, I am considered in the whole situation. So it's saying with your tone and your heart, you matter, we matter. Let's come back together. And that is healing. So if you have had any conflict with your child, you have had conflict with your partner, and you have not considered the child, it is important for you to realize that they matter in the situation and you need to let them know. All right? So, what will even now build consistency over time? What will build the consistency of trust? What will sustain the relationship over time? Because when we have such conflicts, and it depending on the level of the conflicts, trust is broken. There's a crack in how the child will just have a whole new perspective of who you are. Imagine a parent that steps out to have a new relationship or a new wife, or just having an affair, and the child gets to know, or the mother gets to know, and it's been an issue in the family. What will build that trust over time? It will require consistency from you, honesty. It will also require that you show up over and over again. Especially after that mistake, you have to make it a responsibility to build that reconnection with trust. So here are some practical takeaways from today's episode. The first thing is for you to learn to apologize when needed. Don't assume that they understand. No. Once I come home and I start laughing, once I watch that program with the child, or I play a game, they know that it's over. Apologize when you need to apologize, because it's also a way of you modeling conflict resolution to the child. And listen without fixing. When you're ready for a reconnection, allow the child to talk. Listen. You don't have to, don't say it like that. That's not really, just let them express themselves. You can guide, but allow them that space. Here is the challenge for this episode. Have a one device free conversation with your child this week. Or how do I put it? Have one device free conversation with your child, your family, your partner this week, which means everybody drops their devices and you engage. Look into each other's face and look at each other's faces and have that conversation where you create a safe environment. Let them know that you care. Let them know that they matter. Let them know that you see them and you are willing to hear them with your full attention. All right? Until next episode, here is Flourish saying, remember, connection is built in moments, not speeches. Have a lovely time.